Welcome to another St. By Night revamped production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to St. By Night, where we play St. Petersburg By Night, a massive multiplayer tabletop role-playing game set in the world of darkness. We play Vampire the Masquerade, Hunter the Reckoning, and Werewolf the Apocalypse. I am your humble storyteller this evening, Bear the Bard, and I am one of many junior storytellers here at St. By Night. Make sure to check out St. By Night on all social media platforms. That includes X, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. But you should really check out our website, SPbN.com. We have our city map, storyteller profiles, and a one-of-a-kind thread meter. If you aren't already a subscriber on Twitch, you should go ahead and hit that follow button and catch up on all of our past episodes. And if you're interested in playing with us, come join our Discord. What are you waiting for? Come be a member of this amazing community. Today, we are playing Bloody Strings, one of many chronicles here at St. By Night. Let's introduce our players. Hello and welcome to another episode of Bloody Strings. I am Bear the Bard, your storyteller, and these are my lovely players. Please introduce yourselves.
Hello everyone, I am Nori and I'll be playing Bellatrix the Malkavian.
And I'm Kari and I'll be playing Grey Novak, Toreador with big dreams and a new obsession.
Hello, I'm Lakar and I am playing Matthew Holden, the well-dressed ne'er-do-well Toreador.
Hello, I'm Chuck EXE, and I am playing Nicholas Baldridge, the Malkavian who's starting to be afraid of being Malkavian.
Thank you very much. Last we left off, the Coterie, though one short, went to follow up on a message they received in the previous session where they met a surprising but familiar face. After their encounter, they split up for about a week, going about handling their business before coming back together. Coming at the end of that week, we are going to see what they are getting into, starting with Mr. Novak. Where are you this evening?
Yeah, this evening, Gray is heading to meet with Victor. It has been a week since they have begun seeing each other. And Gray is a bit concerned because things have not gone in some of the ways that he's expected.
As you're heading yet to another, again, different location to meet him than you have every other time you've met him so far. Different hotels or random apartments or just small buildings that none of which have really the air of home that you've been able to connect to Victor. As you approach this location, it appears to be another kind of small building, very similar to the building you guys pulled the heist on just a few weeks ago. You walk up to it. There's no guard, security, or anything to that fashion. The door is already swung open. There's no light inside.
Activate heightened senses as I make my way inside.
Give me a wits and awareness.
Three successes with the postural bestial failure, if that's not enough.
As you are kind of looking about the room, it's again kind of like an open, clear, mostly open floor space. There's a couple rooms, look like restrooms and such. It looks like this is a small little area for like conferences or such. You do, however, see on the far back of the room there is another door swung ajar where there is a dim light radiating through.
Head that direction, call out for Victor. Victor, this is just mildly creepy, don't you think?
Do you enter the room?
Yes.
Okay. You step into the room where you see it is kind of like a, not quite red, almost like a reddish orange hue, but dimmed to a point to set this kind of like a dark ambiance. And as you are stepping into the space, you see there are some furniture that's a little too nice for a place like this that's set up. It almost looks like this room has been built into a set. You see on the far end of the room, Victor is kind of sitting on his desk and he is holding some papers. He'll look at them and then he looks up, kind of scans the room, and then he goes back down, flips to the next one. And then after he flips another, he turns up. Great.
Is that a script?
Face down. Not a script, no.
You're not getting into moving pictures now.
No.
Across the room over to him.
He kind of smiles and... How have you been, my dear?
Been better. Better than I have last week, for sure. I have you to thank for that.
Oh, of course. And it does no good to see something so beautiful, so dreary.
I have a problem, though. Kind of circle around the desk, drape my arms over his shoulders.
kind of turns his head toward you. And what might that be?
You still haven't introduced me to your friends. And we're always meeting in the most interesting of places. And it really seems like even though we're close, I'm tightening my grip around him, you're still keeping me at arm's length.
Give me a charisma persuasion.
I am not using my specialty here because I'm actually not acting. You will spend a willpower to get out of the messy critical and just take the 5 successes.
Okay. Why is it you want to meet these people so badly? He, not aggressively, but he does kind of pull away from you and turns to face you.
Take a step back, give him a little bit of space. It's not them I care about, Victor. It's your life. I told you when we started this that we're going to be equals. And I want to be part of your life, not just an accessory to it.
It is difficult for me to accept you as an equal when you don't really appreciate what it is that I do.
You know what? I think I can take that. I've been critical, yes. But that's because I think that your talent lies elsewhere. I think that you are stuck in a mode of expression that doesn't suit you. But it's not for me to say what does suit you. That's for you to say.
And I do mean this with no disrespect, of course. But your idea of beauty is a bit one-dimensional. To you, beauty just... it must be this thing that is simply appealing to the eye, ignores or completely diminishes the beauty that comes from adversity. The beauty that one gains from experiencing pain. I find the flower that struggled to become beautiful to be far more beautiful than that which already was.
I don't think you understand the nuance to what I'm saying. And I think that comes across to you as one-dimensional. And I'm a little saddened that it doesn't quite land. So perhaps I can explain it a bit better.
Enlighten me.
Adversity is important. The beauty that comes from overcoming challenges and from becoming something different, from blossoming, is probably the most precious. On this, I think we both agree. Where I disagree is your methods. You don't have to manufacture the adversity. It's literally everywhere. Right now.
It is.
You have to find it. It's the search that matters. The
Perfection
quest.
is not natural. Perfection must be manufactured.
You know how hard it is to replicate things that already exist in nature?
That's the thing, we're not here to replicate what exists in nature. We're here to show the perfection that can be built from it. By doing what I do, I push these people to be perfect, and I capture them at their most. And then they never have to not be perfect again.
But it's artificial, all the same. It's just a mimicry, because you made it that way.
So is all that we do. When you go out all dolled up, having a night at the town, your appearance, your behavior, it's all manufactured. All curated. All conditioned. What's the difference in what you do and what I do? Besides, mine's just not as easy to stomach.
The difference, Victor, is that you have actual talent, and I'm just a pretty face.
Then why is the pretty face trying to tell me that what I'm doing is wrong?
Because every artist, and I'll step closer and lean down towards him, needs his muse, even if he doesn't want to listen to it.
Give me another charisma persuasion.
Five successes. I'm gonna linger with my eyes locked with his.
Okay.
Try it just once. Just once. See if you even like it. Finding something that is suffering and shaping it out of its suffering.
We'll try it your way.
And then I'll have another challenge for you if you don't like that one. And I'll show you how multidimensional I really am.
We'll do it your way. But if this falls short of my expectations, by even a little, you will do things my way.
Sure.
Hmm?
Sure. If you are not completely satisfied, then we'll do things your way.
Excellent. These people you're so interested in meeting aren't friends so much.
Well, then I don't want to meet them. I said I wanted to meet your friends.
Friends in this line of work are few and far between.
I'll settle for acquaintances then.
Very well. If you want to meet them, if we're going to do this your way, you're going to take the lead on it. Find us a model.
Any preferences?
You're the one who has an eye for making something already broken beautiful. You show me.
I think you've just challenged me in a way that you don't know. Like I said.
Seeing the results.
You know what, Mr. Adams? I could really get comfortable with you.
Remember you said that. And he'll kiss you.
I'll kiss him back.
As we pan away from this scene, we move much farther north to Bellatrix. Just a moment. Go ahead.
Okay. Do you still need testing or?
No, you're good. Where is Bellatrix this evening?
Bellatrix is walking down the street towards Mr. Hodge's house, carrying a nicely wrapped box. It has shiny silver wrapping with his bowler hat, or his hat atop it. And she will walk up to his door and ring the doorbell.
After a couple of moments, the door opens. You see him wearing the outfit he's normally wearing, the kind of the petticoat and the pants, the buttoned shirt with the bow tie, except not wearing his hat. You now can see his very scarred bald head.
Good evening. I believe I received an invitation from you.
I'm glad you received it in good health. Please come in. And he leaves the door open for you, steps inside, and moves into the main room.
I'll step in and shut the door behind me.
I'm sure you had no trouble finding the place.
Of course not. I have brought a gift for you.
Interesting.
And your hat, of course.
He reaches over and takes the hat, places it back on his head. Much better. He holds his hand out for the gift.
I'll give it to him.
You shouldn't have. He goes over, sits in the recliner, sets it at the table, and opens it.
Inside is a very nicely lacquered box, and when he opens it up, there is a tea set, a fine china tea set that is perfectly arranged in each of its spaces. To the side, there is a little sampler of about 12 teas that Bella has put in from her tea shop. I believe Gray has mentioned that you like baking, and I know with baked goods, tea goes wonderfully. Also, it has a great aroma. These are particularly wonderful. I'll sit down across from him.
Lovely. He very, like, as you are kind of saying what you were saying, he's already moved the tea set out of the packaging, has kind of neatly, as you're talking, folded up the very carefully removed packaging and neatly sets it off to the side. So, I have expected you not to be coming alone this evening. This is a surprise. How can I help you?
Well, you sent me the invitation, so I assume you know I have been watching you for a few weeks.
Longer than I do. Honestly, I didn't even notice if it hadn't been for a little bird telling me otherwise.
Was it the one-armed man?
So you were there. Yes.
It was the most interesting thing that happened.
I must admit I live a very dull life.
Indeed. So, you see, at one point a few months ago, I accidentally found myself connected to your mind. And it piqued my interest. I wasn't looking. I wasn't even thinking about you. In fact, I was chasing down a serial killer that was killing us. Our
yes,
family.
The one who killed my dear boy.
Yes. But it piqued my interest because... have you ever been to Boston? Maybe just outside of it.
I happened to pass by the area once a long time ago.
Yeah, there's a very nice horse ranch there. I think they sell their horses to the stars. I was never interested in that. I was more interested in the ranchers, passerbys, things like that. Learned some interesting things there.
Interesting.
Isn't
I myself
it?
have never been one for the life on the ranch. But I must admit I admire their determination and hard work.
Indeed. I got bored quickly, honestly. But I did pick up a couple of things, and I think that is how we got connected. But given that your dear boy was also a serial killer, I wasn't sure about you, so I had to watch first before I approached you. A girl's got to be careful.
I suppose she must. But I must admit I don't appreciate being spied on.
That's fair. I really didn't see much. Except for the one-armed man, he was interesting. Though, his brain's not all there. I met him again later.
Hence the reason for the visit. There was a correction that needed being made.
Understood. So, I suppose, what can I do to make it up for you?
Well, I must say the tea was a fantastic start. I understand your concern. I will say I did not... You are very good at moving undetected.
I got caught, so I'm not that good.
But you stood right in my living room and I never saw you.
True. Maybe I just got lucky.
Perhaps.
I didn't touch anything of yours. You would have noticed.
I would have. Tell you what. As far as I'm concerned, the tea makes it even. However, there is something I am a bit curious about. There is a... Well, there's the matter of the youngling in your group. The one who barged into my home.
Oh, him. I would say he is rather annoying.
Annoying seems a kind word. Something about him really... rubbed me the wrong way. So, if you could simply enlighten me as to whether or not I should be concerned about this individual. Honestly. You may even consider me in your debt. A small one.
He does have a habit of sticking his nose in where he doesn't belong. However, I believe he is spiraling and may need to be cold for the better of our clan. At some points. I'm monitoring him now.
Interesting. Well,
currently he's on about something else, so I don't believe it involves you, and honestly, some of it is ramblings. He literally had a conspiracy theory board up on our walls. It was very ugly. Covered our artwork.
well, that's a shame.
It was.
Very well. All is forgiven. And should you need anything, my dear Bellatrix, feel free to simply ask. And I would absolutely love to hear more about your experience on the ranch.
I may visit so we can speak later about it.
I look forward to it.
I believe this has been an excellent visit.
So do I.
I'll bring more tea next time. Different kinds. Definitely let the fumes fill the air.
Let me know you're coming ahead next time. I'll be sure to bake some pumpkin spice cookies.
I love that. I'll get up and give him a slight curtsy before I head out.
He'll get up and very politely bow. And he lets you out of the house. Where do you go from here?
I'm heading back home. But as I'm getting like a block away, I'm just like, okay, survived that. Now to get on with my night. I have business, like actual tea shop business to do.
You move on, and with the mention of Nick, we will see what he's been up to. Bear with me just a moment. Nick, as we move back south of the neutral zone, what are you doing this evening?
Nick's currently at Cigar Stag and talking in the office with Alex. He is currently pacing about, just not quite saying anything quite yet. Just perturbed. I've tried so hard. I've pushed back at everything. And I didn't even know. Did you? And he spins on Alex. It's not quite accusatory, but or angry, but he looks at him blankly.
Recently, no. But I've seen the couple times that you reeled it in.
His shoulders will drop. I'm sorry. It's been percolating in my head this whole time. I can't let it go. Don't know what it is. I can't. How can I fight something I can't detect? How do I fight something I can't see that I didn't even know about? And I've got the Malkavians pissed at me without even trying for once in my life. I wasn't even trying to. And who knows what this is leading to. I'm apparently threatening the only people that I'm supposed to trust even a little bit. And I don't know what's going on. I'm being affected. And I don't know what it is.
You know, I love you, and I would do anything for you. But you are a bit of an asshole.
Yeah, I suppose I am. Can't deny that.
You don't know what to do in this situation. You have people that might be able to figure something out. You offended your little group. Go apologize and ask for help. You're trying to do all this shit by yourself, and you're just isolating yourself from the people who might be able to do something about it. All I can do is shoot things, and I can't shoot what's in your head. I can, but it's not gonna help much.
Honestly, Alex, I'd say you're doing a lot more than that right now. It's so glaringly obvious, and yet it took... That alone should be proof. Glaringly obvious. I need to right my fucking ship. And do what's necessary. Did you know it used to not always be like this? I used to smile. I used to have fun. I used to laugh. I used to love. I had a little boy on the way. I need to stop attacking the world because I put myself in a situation that I hate. But I'm glad to have you in it. I truly am.
I'm always here to help.
And you never fail to do so, my friend.
But coming
This
back
is-
around to that point, you need to learn how to ask for it.
Hmm.
And going to your almost, let's be frank, that's not exactly that. I know what I am. And I'm not the great soundboard. Sure, I can do that. I can shoot things when you need me to shoot things. But you're dealing with stuff I can't really help you with. That's something in your world.
Yeah.
That I only get to be a little part of.
Yeah, Nick will walk over and just reach up and grip his shoulder, just letting all the emotion that he's trying not to let out through that.
You need to get that stick out of your ass.
It's gonna hurt like hell to remove it.
You'll feel better after.
Yeah.
Your friend
Yeah, I
Gray might
suppose
be a
so.
little bit too, little too much for my speed, but he does have a point.
Yeah. All right. Well, I do need you to tell me. You're good. I know how good you are at observation, just like me. If you see anything that courts triggers, I need you to let me know. But since I don't know what this is, I don't know what happens. Do not try to bring me back. I don't want to be the reason you get hurt.
That's a really dumb ask.
Have to
But
try.
I can keep an eye out. I do know the last one I did notice it before. Seemed to be when you were feeling your most insecure.
Ah, fucking hell. Of course. Well, I'm going to head over to Ascent. Not very far from here. Yeah, just usual. Cigars open to you. Just enjoy yourself for the night. I'll let you know if I need you.
Sure.
Stay safe, my friend. And Nick will head to the Ascent.
Right. As you make your way over to the Ascent, Matthew is already there. You'll show up a little ways before Gray and Bellatrix. Matthew, what are you doing before Nicholas arrives?
Matt is currently pacing at the Ascent. He's going over things. He's putting in details in his head for the thing for Gray, and he's got the sketchbook there, and he's kind of just like twiddling the pencil, contemplating starting that, but just gonna have to rip this damn band-aid off, aren't we? Oh, this is gonna be fun. He's gonna go reach out his phone, and he's going to start typing out a text to Nick asking where he's at currently.
You did.
About that time, Nick will step into the Ascent.
Oh, damn. Were you feeling the disturbance in the force on that one?
I get a look as he has his phone out. Oh, you gotta admit, that's some timing. What's up? What are you about? I assume you were about to ask me something?
First of all, how you doing?
Honestly, shit. I mean, you find out something's affecting you when you take pride in the fact that you have at least enough self-control to. But it's hardly unusual for our world, I guess.
Alex with you tonight?
No, I can call him if need be. But I'm giving him the night off otherwise.
Nah, it's fine. It's good. Don't worry about it. Oh, I got you something. And he's going to kind of grab a box off of the table and hand it to you. It's a box of Monte Cristos.
He's gonna take it gently, put it to the side. I promise I was going to do this before someone just gave me something out of kindness. At least, hopefully out of kindness, but that's not derogatory. Just sometimes it's hard to say what I'm actually trying to mean. What I'm trying to get at is I'm sorry. And I'm gonna, maybe I should wait till everyone else is here, but it doesn't matter. I fucked up, and I'm sorry.
How'd you fuck up?
Well, let's see. The entire clan is apparently mad at me. I don't exactly make things easy for everyone. I have a stick up my ass so far; it's practically poking out of my throat, and I thought myself above everyone else, and I did nothing to correct it. To start with.
Grab one of those and come outside with me.
Thank you for those, by the way. He'll hand Matt Cutter.
And he'll be surprisingly adept at this. Haven't had one of these since Rome. Oh wait, Venice. God, they're blending together. Anyway, I can't even pretend to know what's going on with you. I won't even lie and say I know what it's like. Seeing what I did, I noticed there's some sort of connection with you. And I don't quite know the nuances of it, but seeing that other part of you and the reaction you've got from it, I know that ain't you. I have pretended to be half a dozen people from one end of the coast to the other, and that wasn't you.
Yeah.
So for you to apologize for something that wasn't entirely your fault, it's unnecessary.
I'll be honest, Matt. I don't know what it is. I have it's not even like something's blocking me from tracking my own head. It feels like there's just been nothing happening. And I can only guess that I've been influenced. I can't eat. It's hard to trust my own thoughts because it feels like my thoughts. I don't have something I can go and point to in my head or my memories that says, okay, hey, this was weird. Instead, I have a moment. All I've heard is a moment of distraction, which is so common, normal, natural almost. And apparently that moment of distraction, something happened that I have no recollection of. I can't say it's not me, Matt. What I can say, and it took a friend and finally getting a bit of that stick out to realize that I'm going to need to ask y'all for help. This is dangerous. And it's dangerous for y'all too. And also, try not to be such a fucking ass.
Speaking of dangerous, there's something else. And I will admit, the cigars were a distraction.
I had a feeling.
Peace offering.
Mm-hmm. I got my best time, new me.
He's going to reach behind him and he's going to pull out this, what was once sealed envelope, and he's going to hand it to you.
That's Nick's going to take it.
And inside, it only says, "Use your problem now. Signed, K."
That is very unhelpful.
This won't make it better. And with the other hand, he's going to hold up Nick's coin.
Nick's going to hold out his hand.
He's going to just give it to him very carefully.
Oh, she's in the city?
Yeah.
You want to know the story about this? You don't have to if you don't want.
We can discuss that at a later time.
Yeah, I guess that's right. Shit.
We talked to her.
Probably
we
best
saw her.
that y'all did and not me.
Yeah. I can't say for certain, but I don't think it's a safe idea for you to go looking for her.
That's fair. That's fair.
She's she's like us. And it wasn't her choice.
I doubt that, yeah.
And apparently the person who did it to her, they made her take care of them herself. Because apparently whoever was in charge up there was pretty pissed that they did it. I can't say for certain, but I'm pretty sure that she is not happy with you.
Nick, at this moment, if you'd please give me a composure and resolve.
Two successes.
Well, now you done gone and failed a little girl now, haven't you? Set her off on her own. And now she's no better than the monster you become. All that potential snuffed right out.
I will ask Vera.
Shoot.
Does Nick have? May I roll for Nick to have awareness of what it's prompting?
Give me a wits and insight.
Okay. I would say he doesn't have sense of mind to try blood searching. What's an insight is 7, I believe. Four successes.
Yeah. You, as you hear that voice, it's... While it feels like these are your own thoughts, you can definitely feel something is off. There is a familiarity to it. But it's more than just a voice. You feel it almost like a shiver down your spine. You feel the voice move through you. As the words that are getting ready to come out of your mouth, you feel even the embouchure of your mouth beginning to change in order to even deliver what you would say differently. I'll say that you clock that whatever this is directly has a shift on your behavior and personality in the moment as you feel it start to take.
No. Well, what can you expect? What can you expect from a weakling? Especially the daughter of a weakling. Simple, useless, trailer trash, nothing.
Oh, joy, now we got you. Fantastic.
I will say at that moment is when the entire group arrives. Just a moment. Bellatrix and Gray, you step into the room, having regrouped with Matthew and Nicholas. Pretty clear that Matthew seems a bit on edge.
Gray opens the door, speaking to Bella. He called me one-dimensional. Do you know that? He called me one-dimensional.
Oh dear, you are multi-dimensional. Don't.
I know. I have all sorts of dimensions. He called me. I'm going to show him. Otherwise. Hold the door open for Bella.
Thank you. Show him. Prove him wrong. And if not, send me in.
I don't want you to hurt him. You already did enough. You did everything I asked you to, and you. Thank you for it. Shut the door behind me.
Of course.
Look, little panda boy. We got gas.
Oh, it's Blanche. How you doing, Blanche?
Yay.
Worse now that your simple ass is here.
Oh, better to be simple than have an accent that makes me sound like a yokel.
Yeah. Anyway, now that I have the news, I don't see much point sticking around. Barra, question. With that, what's an insight? Is Nick able to perceive what's going on now? Continued perception instead of...
I think you could always kind of perceive things, but you weren't. It's almost kind of like having. It's like rationalize. You were just kind of impressing that was just you, but twisting the memory of it to fit what you think or how you typically behave. But in this moment, you were very clearly seeing, like, it's almost like you have now been moved back into a box and are watching.
Right, then I will ask, may I do a blood-searched resist with with tempered will? Because now he's trying to leave, and Nick knows he came to apologize and ask for help.
Just a moment.
Planning to go out and terrorize people who don't like Southern accents and pissy attitudes?
And I clock the coin in Nick's hand. Shoot a glance over to Matt. Kind of nod at it.
Matt's just sitting there holding a cigar. Just kind of thought it was a good idea.
Give me a resolve and intelligence, and you can add your 2 dice.
May I blood search it?
Sure.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bellatrix.
I was just gonna say, he had to know eventually. What, did you want her to sneak up on him?
Are we gonna have to do something about little Rhoda, or can we just ignore her?
I could talk to her if you want me to.
Well, I did tell him to stay away from her because he seems eager.
May I spend a willpower?
Please do.
All right.
There.
5 successes.
Very well. It appears that Nick is caught in a moment. I want to activate Sense the Unseen. If this is Blanche, I want to see if, because I still suspect that this could be a possessing thing.
Sure. I will say right out the gate, you can see there's a glow about his eyes.
Okay.
A soft one, but it is kind of like... It's kind of like the backlighting of like a phone. His eyes just seem brighter than they should be. 5. You just meet the difficulty. Gray, as you are watching, you see Nick kind of carry himself in this weird, super preachy debutante kind of way about carrying himself. You watch as he closes his eyes real tight, and then you see something forcefully. You see this kind of like a puff of smoke that just gets ejected away from him that almost immediately disappears. Nick, when this happens, you snap your eyes shut. You begin trying to pull your own mind back to the front. Take 1 aggravated willpower damage. And then it's gone. In fact, you feel a little lighter than you have in a while.
That description, that smoke, is that anything I'm familiar with? Fairly studied when it comes to the occult.
Give me a intelligence and occult.
Take it. Take the messy critical. Successes.
You gain the dominance compulsion. As you begin kind of thinking on this, you kind of recall back to when you guys met Al. And he went into that room, and then that big guy come out. And you are familiar with the concept of possession. However, you are fairly certain that you can't typically do that to people like you. That is not something that should be possible, but this is very clearly a resemblance of it. There's a resemblance here. You also know that there could possibly be little tools that can be used to break the rules. So it is possible that it is something to that effect, but you can't say with any certainty. But you are certain that somebody is directly fucking with Nicholas. This isn't him.
As Nicholas comes out, he's completely clenched up, gripping the coin so hard that it's nearly digging through his skin. And I see you now. And I can fight you now. Need help. Please.
Okay, Bursting,
Help
sit
me.
down. Sit down. Find a seat. Get comfortable.
He just sits on the floor.
That works.
It works. And Matt, don't light that. Pointing at the cigar. Your rules. Follow them.
It wasn't even lit.
I'm just telling you, don't light it.
I wasn't.
Okay, I saw it this time. Blanche isn't Nick. There's something else. There's someone else in Nick. Like, physically taking control of him. You know anything, Bello?
I was about to ask, do I know anything about possession?
You've spent a bit of time with Al. He gave a little bit of insight about, like, the guy you guys were dealing with. I think you know just kind of like the general understanding of what it is. It's an ability that you can use, typically used on, like, mortals, sometimes ghouls if you're strong enough. But he never mentioned anything like that, and as far as you're aware, that's not something that can be used on Kindred.
Not necessarily used by Kindred. I have another question, though. Because if it's something similar to possession, I mean, I am quite aware that there are things that exist outside of just Kindred. My cult's a 3, so I know that.
That is true, and you have been digging into the whole Theo thing, so I will say that you are aware that possession was a huge problem in St. Petersburg just a year or so ago when battling mages and spirits.
Maybe not a Kindred, but perhaps a mage, a magician, or a spirit could do it. There was issues here in St. Pete about a year ago with a particular magician named Theo who controlled ghosts, and he was able to cause them to possess people. Might be. Next question, though. The spider ring. Can that block that? I know it can stop, like, people viewing you and such. Could it block possession?
Based on the information that you got while reading that book, that while it has not been documented as to whether or not that will actually prevent something, that is a theorized possibility.
I have an idea.
All right. What's your idea?
So, the ring that Edwin may or may not possess. Pretty sure it's a may. It might be able to block such instances. But we'd have to get it from him. It'd also be a great revenge on if he used us, lying to say it was for the prince, if we took it back from him. It would be a revenge he wouldn't know, obviously, because, you know, we don't want to get in trouble, but it could work.
Ooh, 2 problems with that. One, I'm guessing he's wearing it. If that's your, I'm assuming you've seen him wearing it. If you said may or may not.
He was wearing gloves at the time, but there was a ring-shaped object on his finger underneath the gloves.
Okay.
And Nicholas, you... Okay.
Yeah. I saw him physically wearing it. That's how I found out.
That's interesting, though, because that ring has actually been known to block scrying abilities.
It took a lot of effort.
Does he know?
He saw me looking right at him, so probably.
That's a problem.
Yeah, that's a very big problem. Okay, so that means if he's wearing it, I ain't that good that I could probably steal it off of him without him noticing. So, how the hell do you plan on doing that?
I don't know. I'm presenting the option to help Nick here. However, I do know that there is a Anarch Baron in the north that creates beautiful objects and could create a replica of this item. So if we could do a switch somehow, but we'd have to see if he always is wearing it.
We don't need to do a switch. We don't need to do some sort of shell game or whatever. We just need to cut his hand off and have him not know that we're the ones who cut his hand off. We don't abscond with the ring. We just abscond with his entire hand.
So, great. Love the energy. Can we put a pin in that for a second? I appreciate it. Y'all heard me ask you for help and acted on it. I really appreciate that. I don't want you getting in trouble, risking getting in trouble with the keyboard just because I have problems.
Oh, it's not just for you. This is also vengeance.
Yeah,
You-
Nick, this is
okay.
less for you and more to stick it to Brian.
Fair. I should have remembered. I'm sorry. And that leads to another thing. I'm
And I mean,
sorry.
in a way, this will, this would kind of be proxy from before. It wouldn't be the first time someone I thought I could trust stabbed me in the back. Fuck it, I'm game.
I feel
wait,
mentioning that ring is.
What? Could you go back, Nick, to what you just said?
Which part?
Right before Matt started talking.
Yeah.
Could you just say that one more time? I couldn't quite hear you.
That's also why I meant to do before all that happened is I'm legitimately sorry. And I'm trying to right the fucking ship. And yes, with the other Malkavians too. And just in general. And trying to take the stick out of my ass. And legitimately stop being a pity party for shit that I got myself into.
So when are you going to see Charlie? Then I'll consider your apology complete.
As soon as she is willing and is convenient. I cannot. Life gets in the way, but I will make it priority.
Good. After that, apology accepted, and we're even.
You should probably go see Al too.
Okay. Sure.
Nick, if it makes you feel better, I'll go with you. How about that?
Yes, please.
All right, you seemed a little too enthused about that.
Look. My mouth gets me in trouble, and cashes checks my ass cannot cash.
I'll go as well. He does have a soft spot for me.
Fair.
And I told them both that I would have you apologize. So if you want, I will come along as well.
I will do so, and it will be genuine and not forced.
And we won't fuck with you. We won't do anything to cause you any more stress.
Honestly,
until after.
Okay.
Honestly, I kind of deserve it anyway.
Yeah.
I know what I've been.
You're annoying, yes.
Yeah.
But you're also being possessed, and that's...
It's not an excuse.
I mean, I don't think the possession makes up for your whole attitude, and I'm not saying that, so thank you for the apology.
But no, it's probably easier for whatever this fucking thing is to do it to you here, because did you know this place is just crisscrossed with dragon lines? Like everywhere.
Yes.
It's honestly fascinating.
It's actually why I came here.
Do you mean ley lines?
Dragon lines, ley lines. It
Okay,
depends on...
I've just never heard a name for, and I'm not saying I know much about ley lines, but I dabble.
Okay, I'm guessing it's going to be a Malkavian thing because I have no idea what the hell you're all talking about.
Oh no, I was thinking about things like it wasn't my kind days.
It's actually not, Matt. Ley lines are lines where magic flows heavily. And crisscrossings, usually called nexuses sometimes, things like that, are points of power. I think there might be a few in the city. I do know that there are lots of ley lines here. It's actually what attracted that magician before in the first place that I said use ghost to possess people. Yeah.
So you didn't mean like, you weren't talking like, Harry Houdini magician. You meant actual magic?
Mm-hmm. It exists.
Fuck me running. Of course it does. Shouldn't be surprised.
Oh, I mean,
Sure, if that's where all the explosions come from, or if that's something separate for the city, but
I'm pretty sure it's a separate thing.
One could end up influencing the other, honestly, but we have at least proof now that yes, someone is fucking with you. And if they can fuck with you, that means that they can fuck with us as well, because we don't know how they're fucking with you. So we need to find out who or what this is. And we need to find out how to either protect ourselves from it or deal with it.
I'm up for dealing with it.
Sounds fine to me.
As much as I appreciate Blanche showing up now and again just to like listen to herself talk, I would rather she fuck off forever. So dealing with it, let's go with that.
When did she first start showing up?
I legitimately can't tell you. This is the first time I've noticed it happen. And thankfully, that is what allowed me to push forward against. It's really hard. It's legitimately like I'm me. And it feels like me. And this is what I was explaining to Matt. This is the first time I've even had a hint, and it took all the strength of will I had to push through, and that was not. I don't know how many times I can do that.
this may be. That's why I say we should probably get the ring, because that may help you.
I mean, I'm not discounting, but I feel like it is worth mentioning that the ring is supposed to be extremely dangerous.
It's dangerous. All right. So, let's go back. You viewed it as dangerous because look at you. You are a seer. Your whole thing is seeing the future and people and being able to read objects. If that blocks you, of course it's dangerous. And if it was dangerous to Isabel, before Charlie, there was another oracle, and she was very powerful, apparently. She served Isabel, and someone might have decided to try to use the ring as a way to block her to get to Isabel.
I mean, that is definitely a plausible interpretation. I mean, I am not in a place to be, well, I'm not in a place to naysay shit. I just think it's more that I think it is worth keeping in mind that could be extremely dangerous, especially since we barely gotten any real info on it.
It's not like we're just going to walk in there and just, snatch it up. We are going to have to do some sort of...
I feel like there's a part of you that wants to just do that, just like go in, ask, and expect you to walk out with it.
It's entirely possible. Yeah, I could just convince Edwin to give it to me. I mean, depending on how attached he is to it. favors go a long way.
And I mean, we do have the boon.
I don't think the boom's gonna cover that, but I mean, yeah, it's something to try.
But I wouldn't mind throwing it in his face, if that's what you mean. There's a little bit of pressure that can be put there, especially if
Maybe.
word got out about it.
Maybe we could use the boon or the boons, because there are two of them, possibly as that, as well as maybe blackmail for. I'm sure he doesn't want people to know what he did.
I think any route of antagonism just will not work. I mean, he's the keeper. He's got as much political power as he pretty much needs. And while blackmail is an avenue, it doesn't feel like it's the one that will lead to a result that we can continue existing with.
He might be the keeper, but he's not the prince.
Exactly.
I mean, no, I'm not saying otherwise.
And if he went against the prince, which we don't know for sure.
That's mainly what I'm driving at.
But we could use that.
We could. How about this? I planned on doing a little more research on him anyways. In the non-mystical way. Actual hard book, hitting the books research in the city. Maybe, Gray, you could ask around in a non-obvious way.
Trust me, I can ask around in the least of obvious ways.
I know, darling. You're the best at that. Why don't we gather information on him, and then once we know more about him and how he operates, other than what he's shown us, then we form a plan.
In the meantime, we need to make sure you're aware. Looking at Nick. If Blanche comes back.
Yes. Perhaps have someone with you most of the time. If not us,
Yeah.
Alex.
I've already told Alex to keep an eye out, but it'd probably be better if he doesn't try to fix the situation, but instead, like, maybe reaches out to y'all or something, because I just don't think there's much he could do. I have a feel for it, at least now. I felt it. I fought against it. Maybe I don't win every time, but at least I can try. Which is more than I had before.
And meanwhile, we pretend we don't know that it's a possessing entity, and we think it's just Nick spiraling.
May have been arrogant, but I didn't get the sense it was stupid.
Yes, but you were the one that pushed it out, which means that we could obviously think that you have multiple personalities.
Fair enough.
We don't really know a whole lot about each other, so this could be a new discovery.
Yep.
Are there any ways to make possession difficult for someone? If not outright protect someone, any occult methods that might exist?
There have been. I guess it just kind of depends on the nature of the possession. I will say, Bellatrix, you're probably aware of like everyone and their mother having a amulet of spirit warding a year or two ago. There, you do know. I will say, give me a wits and occult.
Both of us, or
Wits or intelligence, and you both can if you like.
okay.
What's your pool?
6.
Then let me just add 1 to yours.
Okay, I'll roll it extra because I've already rolled.
Okay.
All good.
I'm gonna also spend a willpower. Yeah, I'm gonna spend a willpower. Okay, and then I'm gonna roll 1 more die.
Sure thing.
Five successes.
Okay. You know that most of these wards were created by the Tremere.
Most of the wards that were around the city, there were a lot. Stop ghost possession and such. They were created by the Tremere.
Well, that'll give me a reason to go talk to Edwin.
I mean, we could use one of our boons to get one.
Wouldn't be from him, though, from what he said, unless
No.
he's lying about the magic as well.
He's lying a little bit. Well, he said he wasn't very good at it. He didn't say he didn't completely have it, but he used something to cause that statue to crumble.
Yeah,
Or that
some
bust.
shadowy shit.
Can I roll a quote, Barrett? Like, now that I'm thinking about it again, what possibly he could have had?
If it helps, Nick will bring up that how Edwin seemed to have a specific reaction to the mention of Oblivion.
Give me... Yeah, you can give me an occult roll.
Okay. Can I get an extra die from Nick?
Yeah.
Alright.
And can I still provide an extra die for that?
You have it. Yeah.
Cool. 4 successes.
Okay. How much experience has Bellatrix had in interacting or dealing with people who have Oblivion?
Maybe only in passing.
Okay.
There may have been Hecata in Boston, if I remember correctly, but it would have only been in passing.
Yeah. As you are kind of thinking on this, it is a little peculiar that a Tremere doesn't lean heavily into the one thing that sets them out from all of the other clans. He does seem... You've never seen him using any kind of electrical device. And he, now with a couple of witness accounts, does seem to have some kind of command over the shadow. So at the very least, he does seem to maybe wield Oblivion. Now, it's possible to get Oblivion through either being a clan that's part of one of their disciplines, or maybe he has an even darker secret about how you obtained it. But it does sound like maybe he does have command of Oblivion.
It sounds like he might have command of Oblivion. Like you were saying, he reacted. He doesn't use a lot of electrical advices, but that could just be he's an elder. I'm not sure how old he is.
You think Oblivion could be an important component of utilizing the ring? Considering how much it deals with just pure shadow.
Maybe?
Mm.
I'd have
Which
to...
brings up,
Sorry, Nick, can you give me what's an insight real quick?
I'd have to research Oblivion more. I can do so to see if it causes any issues with technology.
I think considering everything that you've found out today in the last week, over the span of the last month, there's probably an uncertainty in Nick as to whether or not these shadows are necessarily connected to Oblivion, or if these shadows might be connected to the possession.
Huh.
As if something's keeping him from seeing the full picture.
So this is like Nick feels on the cusp, but something's just he's unable to grasp the rest of that concept.
It's more to the effect you are now uncertain as to the things that you were following before might be what you thought they were. You are now questioning the visions you had. As if maybe this thing has been obscuring the full picture. Carry on.
Son of an emerald fucking whore.
That's a new one.
Please don't hold back.
You know how I'm saying that I couldn't remember how I was saying I couldn't differentiate what's me and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
So that entire path that I've been tracking, everything I've been thinking, that all comes into question now. So it might not be Oblivion, it might be the bullshit. It might not be the bullshit, it might be Oblivion. So that's unfortunately very unhelpful.
We didn't start seeing Blanche until the ring came into the picture. Indirectly, mind you, right? Like, we were still trying to figure out how to get into Victor's galleries. Are they related? Blanche, the ring.
I think if Barra, I believe, because I need clarification on this. I believe you mentioned it was either Nick or someone else that put together that things started being weird after Ben bit off the tongue.
Yes. After Ben severed his tongue and just scrambled everything, you have felt kind of off. Your visions have leaned more into shadows, since most of your visions started having shadows about that time.
No, Gray. I think this goes even for earlier. Something's been off since the first time we cornered Ben. The moment he bit that tongue, it's like everything's been in shadow. Everything I see has led to shadows. Unfortunately, I don't know what to do with that.
Well,
Could the other two Malkavians in the room give me a wits and insight? While this is happening, what's on Matthew's mind?
He's just kind of mulling through it, thinking about all the times that he's noticed when Blanche has shown up, to try to kind of get a feel for what might cause the flip.
I got 4. I spent a willpower.
4 as well.
Because at this point, Bella's really thinking back to when Ben bit off the tongue and how all their senses were kind of shared, and it was a mess.
Yeah, Gray is recalling the same thing and just the intense desire to get away because he had exposed me in a way that I was not ready for.
It was too chaotic to really notice much else than just the shattering melding of your minds at once. But upon reflection, the two of you notice that there was a fourth. No, there was a fifth because they were attacking. There was another outside of the victim. There was another viewpoint, but it mirrored exactly what Truck was saying. But there was a weird... It was like a tunnel vision. Everything was narrow comparatively. And this began to manifest shortly after the shatter took place. Something crept in, or something was maybe released.
Oh shit. Blanche has been with you for a while.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about.
Have there been... I know you may not know, and this might be a useless question, but have there been any incidents before you came to the city?
Baron? Would Nick, in hindsight, be able to look back?
You remember Alex earlier today mentioning that there were some times before that he caught you reeling something in. But you don't remember anything weird about what he's referring to. You just kind of remember having like a bit of a blackout situation, and Alex was acting weird for a little bit after that, but eventually kind of fell back to normal.
I can't say with certainty. Alex only mentioned there were times that the way he put it was reeling something in. And I have those same distracted, unaware moments, and Alex being a little bit off afterwards, but I can't look at it and point that.
So this might have happened for a while and you just weren't aware of it, or it could have been something that's an effective bin.
I think if Alex was saying I reeled something in, I think it was something that I was subconsciously trolling back or fighting subconsciously. And now something has either given it more, either Ben gave it more strength, or it's just been getting stronger anyway. I wish I had more. I truly do, because it pisses me the fuck off.
Where'd you come from before this? Before St. Pete?
I was over in... I believe I was over in Baltimore.
What crowd were you with?
I mostly ran with my sire. She generally just had business, and I would watch along, watch etiquette, things like that. And then no, wait. No, it wasn't Baltimore. No. It was Virginia. Wasn't it? Nick seems to take a moment as seems to be having trouble remembering. I can't really pull from it. I left my sire in Baltimore, went down to the Richmond area, the Chesapeake Bay, working the VA hospitals, and that's where I met Alex. And then I got a message from her to just wait for instructions here in St. Pete, set up here, things like that. Otherwise, I've been kind of left to my own devices ever since she finished showing me the ropes.
How old are you?
I'm 8, technically. I mean, if I assume we're talking about
Yes,
this.
of course.
Yeah, I've been about 8-9 years.
Matt, how old are you?
Um, 10, if we're going by that descriptor, give or take, close to it. Yeah, it'll be. Oof,
Am I the oldest one here?
that was a hell of a New Year's party.
Oh, I'm with babies.
Gray will smirk. Age is relative.
Fair. All right. So, what he's saying though, like with his mix-up and not knowing where he was from and things like that, just to make sure, Truck, that was like actually in character, right? Mixing Baltimore up.
That was both. So I
Okay.
made it. It's in character now.
All right. I am aware. I have cloud memory, so I am aware of certain memory changing effects of our family, so to say. Does it sound like his memory has been affected multiple times?
Quite possibly. It's the parallels are there.
Someone may have been messing with your memories.
I will not punch the wall. I will not punch the wall.
Here, I'll toss him a pillow. Punch the pillow.
He just tries ripping it to pieces.
No, that's a nice pillow.
Yeah,
He stops,
You could
puts it down gently. It's fine. He fluffs it.
drop the duvet.
Punch. They're soft. They're good for punching.
Anyway, the main thing is, fuck whoever did that.
Well, whoever did that, we can't pin down yet because you don't remember fully.
I'll tell you now, the highlights are there, but I mean, I'm not the best at remembering things. Like, unfortunately, the ADHD followed me through becoming a kindred. But legitimately, no, I can't really remember the in-betweens. I just remember the highlights.
So, blackouts. No real good memories of your past. And it's only been 8 years, which that usually doesn't take effect till a long time, Kindred. And you now have a possessing entity that seems to have followed you from wherever you came from.
It appears so. The main thing is, it just doesn't seem. It's more like the modernity became normal. It's more like, because I don't remember anything that led to the negative results we've seen so far. It just was there, and nothing came of it.
That
As
you
best
know
I
of.
can tell. Yeah, as best I can tell. So maybe there's more out there that I don't know.
Nick, you're what we call an unreliable narrator. Your memory may have been messed with so much that you don't even know what you did.
At what point do I have to start questioning if I know who I am?
Well, I can't answer that question for you. All of us have to figure out who we are on our own. However, we can concentrate on stopping you from being possessed. in the future,
It's a start.
and then work your way back.
You knew when Hodges tried to compel you.
Yeah.
You can feel it, can't you?
And with that light bulb going off, Bera, is there any way he could trace?
Before we get to that, I need you, Nick, to give me another What's an Insight difficulty 4.
Okay. Hey, spin the willpower.
Sure.
Four successes.
When you were asked that question, you began kind of focusing back, reflecting on the situation a little bit. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm not going to give you any further context. You just tell me yes or no. You feel like, as you're thinking back on this, there is something there, something that is hiding back in the depths of your mind. Something not letting you see what you need to see. Now, you're not going to be able to see very much clear, but you know that you will get something if you reach for it. Now, my question is, are you willing to sacrifice your 8 XP that you have sitting in your pool to figure out what that is?
Would you be willing to put into context how that XP would translate to Nick?
Only after you say either yes or no.
Okay. Nick feels that, and all I can think is, you, how dare you, how fucking dare you invade me, violate me, take control of me, and I will say yes.
That 8 XP now goes into your spent total.
For fairness, I will say I have 11 XP
11.
total. Yeah, unspent.
Then I will be taking the whole 11. If that, does that change your answer?
No, it does not.
Okay. You begin thinking back, focusing on what it is that you have lost. And then as you're thinking about it, it suddenly dawns on you, you've never been to Baltimore. Ever. You don't know why, but you can't think of anything about that place clearly. And as you reach through that space, you remember roughly being in New York roughly 30 years ago as a Kindred. As you gain your 5th dot and specs back.
Nick shudders as he inhales, shakes. Does he see who's you said he wouldn't be able to see much. Does he get anything else? Like who?
You just hear her voice for just a moment. Shh. Everything be all right now.
And so just a voice. Can he or can he not start place it, or is it just not enough?
Not enough. You just know that you're older than you think you are.
I don't know. I'll look at the coin. Were you fake too? And I will ask another question, Barrow. Are his wife and son fake?
You don't know. That's all you're getting. You may continue.
You're still with us.
He sits up a bit straighter. There is a fury in his face, but it's controlled. It's very controlled. I do hate it when people fuck with me. I apologize, Bella. I am not 8. I'm a little bit older. Took a bit of ridiculousness, shall we say. It's going to take a bit for me to resettle. For now, there's a bit more to this than I can put together at the moment. Still kind of getting my mind put together.
You really are an unreliable narrator.
Unfortunately. But hey, they do say the best stories have the worst narrators.
I mean, it's made you infinitely more interesting at this point.
Oh. Well, I live to be interesting.
I'm starting to like you better.
Your choice.
Wait. I only have one question.
Of course.
Do you hang around with dying people because they made you?
Honestly, Gray, if I hang
Or is
around
that
dying people, I hang around dying people because they are very interesting. There's a lot to them. There's a lot to see through them. Mainly, and yes, it is dour. But
Oh God,
yeah, who
that's still
cares?
you.
Gray,
There was hope
not
for
me.
just a moment. There was hope for
I was
just
never
a moment.
not me, Gray. I'm just a bit more filled out, shall we say.
The ad libs needed written in.
With that, we will take a break. We'll be back in roughly about 10 minutes. Thank you for tagging along so far. Welcome back. One moment. Welcome back. Last we left off, they were in the Ascent, and we had just found a revelation that perhaps Nicholas might not be who he thought he was, or remembers. We will come back to that scene as they're trying to figure out where to go next. The scene is yours.
So regardless of your new expansion of memories, we still need to do something about Blanche. Whoever Blanche might happen to be.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And unfortunately, that ring is the only lead.
Or the amulets that Bella was talking about. Apparently they were a dime a dozen a year ago.
Fair enough. I suppose. I mean, you're the best talker around here, Nick, right? So, might as well go see Edwin. Are the two of you coming?
Is Nick your name?
As far as I know.
Well, then we go with Nick for now. And, no, I think one of us needs to go talk with Sarah. You avoiding her is not going to stop her from finding you.
Oh, right. Yeah, we do have to. That's a sad state of affairs. But now's probably not the best time, all things considered.
I could go. Like I said, I could speak to her. She knows me. She knows Matt too.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'll go with you there.
Fair
I
enough.
see if I can't get some. See exactly what her intentions with him are.
Agreed.
That said, the price must come due. I will not be running from her. So,
Fair, but perhaps another day then.
agreed.
And we'll just try to see what her intentions really are. She seemed kind of like us, but she wasn't given to one of us.
Mm.
So I'm
No.
not sure.
Mysteries abound.
No, she was technically given to all of us. But if y'all are willing to take the responsibility, I'm more than happy to give it to you.
By us, I meant Malkavians.
Now, how could I possibly resemble that?
Just because you deny it doesn't make it untrue.
It's not a denial. You know this.
I know.
I just have a bigger family. Encompasses both sides of the mirror.
So I guess Matt and I will go speak with Sarah, and you two will go ask for one of those pretty little necklaces that used to exist. They've got to have a bunch lying around, right?
Yeah, there's a price for everything. We'll see.
Well, he owes us too.
True. Shall we agree?
Sure.
Lead the way.
Okay. We'll follow Gray and Matt back to Elysium. Standard state of affair. You get there, you're guided by security back to Edwin's office. As you step inside, Edwin is there. As you are stepping in, he puts his glasses back on. He's wearing the gloves again. He turns, he sees Nick, turns to Gray, smiles. Mr. Novak, Mr. Baldridge, please have a seat.
Edwin, my favorite keeper. Have a seat.
Nick will give a smile, nod the head, and pop Sense the Unseen. And then sit down.
Okay. You're not seeing anything out of the ordinary at the moment. Actually, I will give me a... What's an obfuscate? Or what's an auspex? Ignore that other part.
Just 3.
3. You don't catch anything like super present, but you do catch that there is likely something in this space standing in the corner.
He'll eyes will shift for just a moment before just leaning back and continuing with a biting on Gray.
Is there something I can help you with?
We have an issue. And it potentially will dip into one of the boons that we're owed. Bella told us about these charms, necklaces, wards of some kind that were all over the city about a year ago or so. Something about spirits and them being rampant.
Yes. Our Primogen and the regent at the time we're tasked with creating these warded necklaces to help prevent possession or interference from the spirits controlled by Theo.
So, were all of those controlled spirits dispelled?
To the best of our knowledge, at least as far as I'm aware, there hasn't been any cases of possession or ghost attacks since Theo was defeated.
Well, we have reason to suspect that it is possible that there may be some sort of... It might not be connected to whatever happened with Theo, but that there's some sort of ghost activity still here. And we're looking into it to make sure that it's not going to be a problem. We were hoping that we could potentially get some of these charms. Just to make sure that we're protected.
That is understandable. But I will say, unless you know for certain it is a spirit, because if it isn't, those amulets won't do you very much good.
Well, I think that could help with our investigation. If it doesn't appear to do anything, then we could just return the amulets to you. This particular thing... I hesitate to call it a poltergeist, but you know how they attach themselves to troubled girls.
My knowledge of spirits, I'm afraid, is rather limited, but I'll take your word for it.
Well, there's a particularly troubled girl that I think you might know about who has made her presence known, and she might have some issues.
I see. I didn't realize she was already in town.
We didn't either until she met with us.
You met with her.
We did.
Mind if I ask how that went?
Brief, blessedly. But perhaps a little extended later on.
It is curious that she hasn't been brought to Elysium.
She's not presented herself?
No. As I said, I didn't realize she was in town.
Gray will
Do
roll
you
his
know
eyes.
who is watching her, keeping her?
I believe she's our responsibility now, as the letter said.
That doesn't seem right.
No, it does not. And I will make sure she gets introduced. And I will make sure she gets introduced properly. But in the meantime, the amulets.
Of course. I have been assigned to your coterie. This is not a difficult ask at all. I won't ask for a boon. Or I won't charge you the boon. He
I
reaches,
appreciate it.
into this drawer, and this was my personal amulet. And he hands it over to you.
Take it from him. Gonna turn it over a couple times to make sure I know, what it's made of.
If you do manage to find out the nature, if it is a spirit, then you're good to go. But if it is not a spirit, I will probably need to exchange one of those boons in order for me to go to the Primogen to have a proper amulet created, assuming he has what he needs.
To be fair, and I don't want to impugn her reputation, but this may just be her acting out a bit. And if it is, we will deal with that.
I will give you a little time to get back to me on that. However, knowing that there is a human child running around that has the information that she has, possibly. No?
As I said, He needs to be introduced properly.
No.
Yes.
They wouldn't do that.
Well, what they wouldn't do and what they did do are on opposite ends of a spectrum.
That Chicago, that's the one place it seems like that would be a very risky move to pull. I don't...
The way I understand that it all went down, the one responsible for it was given the final death.
Then I think it is very important that you figure out what you can, because if I don't hear anything back in the next few days, I will have to report to the sheriff.
Can you give me 3? 3 nights. I need to make sure she understands what it means to be introduced.
Give me charisma and persuasion.
Internally, he is cursing up a storm about the fact that she hasn't even been introduced properly.
I love that's the most frustrating thing Gray, like, immediately by any kindred he meets. Like...
Uh, 6 successes.
Okay. 3 is as far as I can go.
But the 3rd night, if not before, I will contact you.
Very well.
I am glad I spoke with you. I should not have assumed that this was handled. Obviously, the Kindred of Chicago are not what they were.
Never been myself, but my understanding is that this is not something this serious. Should have been a nothing situation. This shouldn't have escalated to what it has. I will try to see what I can find out about that.
I would appreciate that. This was a surprise to all of us, as much as it has been to you. Thank you.
Of course.
Nick. I'll stand up. Nick, maybe we will have to pay a visit to Little Rhoda before the week is out.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Edwin?
Nick, would you mind hanging back for a moment? I'd like to speak with you.
Nick will stop. Give a nod to Gray.
Of course. Cut my eyes from Edwin over to Nick, just where Nick can see. And I try to signal Nick to say if he needs anything as I'm trying to make my way to the door.
Nick will, before he turns, just wink. And then turn back.
Great legs.
And Nick will take a seat again. What can I do for you, Edwin?
Edwin gets up from his desk, walks to the front of it. He takes his coat off, kind of sets it on the chair. I'm aware you saw me the other evening.
I figured as much.
I'm sure you have questions.
Putting it mildly.
I will let you know that The nature of my business is not one that I share. I will answer the questions as well as I can. But you are going to have to accept the answers I give you. And then we'll
Sounds
decide
fair.
afterward if that is going to be a problem.
Sounds fair to me.
Go ahead.
So, I will preface a little bit. The conversation we had before, the reveal of the ring, I mentioned the possible danger of it. Now, I think we can both agree that maybe my visions were maybe not correct, maybe clouded or wrong, but definitely not meaningless. Have you at least considered there might be severe danger to it?
Sure. I never meant
Okay.
to say that your personal visions are incorrect or otherwise. I was simply stating that in my experience, Malkavian visions can be a bit fickle.
No, you were completely correct in that regard. I'm curious if you understand, I would like to know any possible historical ties to the area about it. Basically, considering all that went on with Ben, things that followed, the possible ties to the former prince.
You want to know why the ring is here and why I knew about it?
Yes.
I moved it here.
Okay.
I've been working for a considerable amount of time to get that ring into my possession.
Okay.
This city, though Toreador, is heavily populated by Malkavians, most of which have a very strong pull over how things run here.
Fair
And my
enough.
business requires a certain level of obfuscation.
Well, it did take a little bit of effort.
And I earned you a boon with the Keeper of Elysium.
However, I do feel it is worth mentioning. You did describe that we were helping the prince. Now, I
Would you have helped me
assume.
if I asked you to create a slight against somebody who was of relative renown within the Camarilla in order to help me hide from you?
Well, I don't know about Gray. However, I would have happily slayed that asshole without a second thought. That said, I was about to say, I figured that your reason would, in its own way, is you are doing it for the prince. It's just that the prince, I guess, didn't put forth the prerogative. And of course, me asking if the prince knows will not give me an answer one way or the other.
The prince knows of my business.
Okay.
To the extent of my
Fantastic.
actions and what I do within that business, he doesn't ask.
Fair enough. I do feel there's a connection between the symbology of that ring and what was going on with Ben. What was going on, something deeper. I'm going to ask one last time. I will take the answer as an answer. Is there no connection to that ring and to what we've been having to deal with?
Are you implying there's a connection between Benjamin, Fanny, and this ring?
I do feel that 3 coincidences is an awful lot of coincidence.
What I do know is the most powerful oracle in this city has a very strong bond with one of the most influential members of the city who is not Camarilla. I don't like people I don't have on payroll being able to see what I'm doing.
That's a very diplomatic and understandable way of putting it. But I do understand. Well, I believe that is the extent of the questions I feel need to be answered. Obviously, I'm not gonna, I'm not here to interrogate you. I was just here to help Gray. I appreciate it, Owen. I do.
I have no ill will toward you or group, as long as you do not interfere with any of the work that I'm doing. And I paid you for the job that I brought you in to do.
That's it. Although, take it as you will. Just feel like you can be upfront with us. I promise you, we know what our duties are. We know how to serve the Camarilla. You don't have...
My job didn't specifically suit the Camarilla. You don't have to just do what I tell you to do. You are not in my employ. You don't have to take a task, which is why I dropped the prince's name. And I'm sure you're aware of that.
Fair enough. Although I do feel some more transparency goes a long way. At least fair transparency. We're Malkavians, Edwin. We eventually see through everything.
Hence 3.
I do feel it's worth pointing out that I saw through the ring, too.
That you did.
That's it. And he'll move to get up. I am happily on your side, Keeper. And he'll offer his hand. I appreciate the conversation.
Give me a... Well, what is your intent here? Are you being manipulative, or are you being direct, transparent?
He's not manipulating. It's a little bit of a dig about what got in there, but he is genuinely saying, thank you for the conversation. And he's not saying he's like at the moment he is on his side. Because the Camarilla is what protects at the moment.
Give me charisma and persuasion.
Ah, yes, I am so good at that. May I blood search?
Sure.
Okay. Oh, thank goodness. Four successes.
He looks at your hand. And then up at you. He takes off the glove, revealing the ring, and he shakes your hand.
As the ring touches the palm, I'd like to use Spirit's Touch one more time and see if I can glean anything else.
Spirit's Touch.
That was not his original goal, but since he took off the glove of his own volition, he's going to take the opportunity.
No, very fair. Okay. Go and give me a roll.
Okay. May I blood search?
Sure.
Gets hungrier again at 3 hunger. You know what? May I spend a willpower?
Sure.
I mean, I get a messy crit, might as well make the most of it. That is a total of 8 successes, and it's a messy crit that I cannot get rid of.
Okay. You feel there are very strong connections to this ring. For the first time in a little bit, you've used this power and you don't feel this weird sense of dread with the Auspex branch of abilities you have. You get a kind of a feel that something bad happens to the bearer of this ring. It has happened to every bearer beforehand, as all of them have become somewhat obsessed with it over time, the longer they have it. And tragedy befalls each one. The specifics of these you don't gain.
Okay. Nick will give the hand a bit more of a squeeze. Smile. You have a good night, Edwin. Stay safe. And
You too.
turns and goes.
You, yeah, sorry, you said messy crit?
Yep, messy crit.
You could really use something to eat right now.
Oh, yeah. As he catches up with Gray. Gray, do you mind hanging around some dead people for a second?
Just a moment. Gray is texting Matt.
Walk and talk.
Gray start walking, texting Matt. The bad seed hasn't even had her debut. ... This is on us. We've got 3 days. And no, I don't want to hang out with dead people. Can we go somewhere where there's actually more life if you're looking for something to eat?
Unfortunately, that's just not the way it works. I haven't ever had choices with it. I just made it something more enjoyable. I mean, you don't have to come if you don't want. I was just trying to be friendly.
Then let's split up, because I could eat as well, and we can get back together and poke around at what's real or not.
Yeah, that's going to be a journey. Anyway, your loss. And Nick will, as they walk out Elysium. And we need to talk a bit later, and then continue walking on.
So much better than being told that I know. Gray will make his way out.
And as he does this, it becomes a middle finger, and then goes back to being 2-finger salute.
You two break off to go find some food. We will now transition to the Hilton as you, Bellatrix and Matthew, arrive at the location.
Just one question for context. Is the Hilton that she is staying at in the neutral zone or in the actual Camarilla territory?
In the actual Camarilla territory.
Okay. Okay, what room is she in? Margaret Green. Why are you so obsessed with your phone, Matt?
I'm guessing at this point in time, I'm getting the text.
Sure.
We got to take the bell to the ball, and apparently we got 3 days to do it.
Really? Did they teach her nothing? They just... Let's go.
This is why I hate Chicago.
Never been. Seems like a
Didn't
terrible
stay
place.
long.
I'll slip my arm into like the crook of Matt's elbow as we approach the concierge.
Well, hello, welcome to the Hilton. How can I be of assistance to you today?
Yes, we're here to visit Margaret Green.
Oh, well, sure thing. Give me just a few moments. They pull up their computer, kind of mess with the database a little bit. Yeah, 1 second. Picks up the phone. What was your name?
Bella and Matt.
Bella and Matt, okay. Well, hello, Miss Green. I have a couple of guests here at the counter, Bella and Matt, here to see you. Would you like me to send them up? Very good. You enjoy the rest of your evening. Yes. If you go down there, there's an elevator. They're in room 412.
Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy your visit and have a wonderful night.
You as well.
Perfect. Oh, one last thing. He's going to use cloud memory.
Easy enough.
Are we pretending not to be here?
But just in case, because better safe than sorry.
Fair, fair. So, as we're in the elevator, what are we going to say to her?
First, I want to make sure discreetly that she's not going to kill Nick as soon as she sees him. And, well, now that we have to, take her to see the prince, and that makes her our responsibility, essentially. I figure if we keep an eye on her, at least keep her close, we'll keep her out of trouble. I know what it's like to be a teenager, although I wasn't like this when I was that young. I say we just keep her close to keep her out of harm's way and out of way of causing harm.
Which means we have to teach her. If she doesn't even know, or has decided not to even meet the officials, then she needs to learn a lot.
They probably just decided to get rid of her because they didn't want to take the responsibility, and they figure since we brought her, or since we sent her up there, it's our problem.
Well, everyone's going to view it that way, so we might as well do the work.
Exactly. If it's already going to be seen as us being the one that caused this, we might as well clean it up.
3 days, huh? All right. How good are you at talking?
I'm good.
Better than Gray? Are you secretive about how good you're at talking and you just let Gray do all the talking?
You ever been to the Louvre?
No, unfortunately, despite my parents' origin, I've never been to France.
Well, I'm not good enough to steal from there, but most of the other places, they practically handed me the paintings when I walked out.
So do you want to take the lead on this, or do you want me?
I'll do it.
Okay.
At this point, I'd say you're at the door.
I'll knock on the door. And then step back and let Matt be in the front.
After a moment, the door opens. Ah, hello. Please, come on in. She turns around, makes her way into the main part of the room. As you step inside, there is a dead bellhop laying in bed.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, this is starting off great.
There's not a drop of blood on her, or even on the bed. He's completely exsanguinated, and there's no mess.
At least she's not a messy eater, Bella.
You caught me right after dinner. How can I help you?
We came to see how you were doing.
Yeah. We wanted to check up on you. You know, it's been a while. We wanted to make sure you were still doing okay.
I'm doing as well as I can be.
Can we come in?
Please, I insist.
I'll step inside. So, what were you planning on doing with that?
Well, I suppose what I did with the other three.
What'd she say?
I suppose what I did with the other three.
And what was that?
I kept them in here until there was nothing left to take. And then removed them. I had some help, of course.
Of course. You know, it becomes less of a problem if you don't drain them. And you pick different ones each night.
Well, I don't really know how to hunt very well. And I'm not too torn up about these people not going home.
I understand that, but I could teach you how to hunt. Make yourself less scarce. There's only so many bodies that start turning up or people that disappearing before questions start happening.
Yes, I could also assist with that. We could make it a lot easier for you to not have to perform the Vegas wake-up call. But usually that person's not actually dead. Yeah, anyway.
You would show me?
There are many ways to go about what you do it. Myself, I lure them into my place. Let them have a wonderful time, and then they leave totally unaware of what happened. And then they come back. So you have...
That's... She looks over at the body, and you can see there's like a sense of disgust. Almost what happened here.
It's terrifying when you don't know what you're doing. And when you first woke up, it had to have been.
Is it normal to see flashes of things you didn't see?
What do you mean?
I get memories, and I think they're his. And they're
His.
terrible.
I'll step up to her and, like, put a hand out, like, may I?
Give me charisma and persuasion.
Okay.
You can add a dot because I'm mad.
All right. Three successes.
What are you? What are you intending to do? Has she?
Touch her shoulder. Or touch her hand or touch her shoulder. I'll actually wrap it in my hands like a comforting way. I'm also activating premonition. I'm trying to see more about who made her.
Give me resolving aspects.
Okay. Oh, need to roll the rouse check first. I do not get hungrier. Tonight is a good night for Bella. I will spend a willpower though. That is terrible. Critical success, 5 successes.
Okay. You pop the premonition. You don't see much about the individual that you're trying to focus on, but you do kind of see little bits in their perspective. Give me a wits and insight on top of your premonition.
Okay. Really, guys? I'll spend another willpower. Three successes.
Okay. You get little flashes, snippets of looking down at Sarah at different points in time. You see Sarah kind of being treated as like a house slave, doing everything, bringing him things. You see one flash where she is on the ground crying as he's standing over her because it looks like she spilled a shoot of blood on the floor. And then finally you see this large hand that had this bright gold ring on it kind of clench into a fist, reach over, grab her, and then you watch as you almost zoom in as you see what you likely believe to be her embrace. And then you snap back.
I'm sorry. Well,
It is what it is, isn't it?
We didn't want this. We wanted
No.
you to be a damn kid. We didn't
I'll-
want you like us.
That, I think, ended when that creature killed my mother.
he's dead now. Ashes. Forgotten. I can empathize with how you feel. When I was 10, I was taken by a man, forced to serve him, forced to listen to his ramblings about the greater enlightenment. It didn't end well for him either. I suppose it didn't end well with me. But we're here now. We survived. In a way. But no, it's not normal to get visions of him unless you have certain abilities or I'm pause right here. Barra, am I aware of I've never Diablerized someone, but I have an occult of 3. Am I aware that you can get memories from people that you have Diablerized? Okay.
Yeah.
But if you were forced to do what you said you did, you may have some of his memories.
That seems more cruel than turning me loose.
We are not a kind people. And I
think
don't
I'm hearing
mean
that.
I can help you survive and grow stronger. And so that you won't be a tool of anyone anymore. But you have to play the game. You have to play by some of the rules until you're strong enough. I myself am not even strong enough yet. So I still have to play by the rules.
Is the prince here as gross looking as the one in Chicago?
No. He's actually kind of pretty. Oh, a little stodgy though. Matt could tell you more. He's of the same family. I'm not sure what family you are personally, but Matt's of the same family. And I'll just stand by her and look to Matt.
My family is a little pretentious, a little snobby, but they're a lot prettier than the first guy.
The man who killed me? I think he used the word Ventru. I don't know much about what that means.
Their family names.
I know that drinking him made me feel very, very powerful. It was... I've not experienced anything like that before or since. And is it bad that I liked it?
In normal society, or in our society, it's looked down upon for that to happen. In fact, it's feared because it's considered a great sin. I can't believe they made you do it. Honestly.
But I'm thinking because you didn't do it here, you can't get in trouble for it. So, at least when you meet the prince, I'm thinking if you at least admit to that, they might...
You just said that's a feared activity, and you want me to tell the person in charge that I did it?
No, what I mean is... If you admit to it, yes, it could be problematic. So just be careful with who you say that to. It'll never leave this room.
No, we won't say anything. If it is noticed, we can bring up that you were forced. But otherwise, we'll keep it quiet.
What was the name of the one who killed Mom?
Benjamin. Benji! As someone dear to me called him in a very derogatory term. He stuck his nose in places he didn't belong, and then he decided to hurt my family.
Are all of the ones like him that mean?
Well, they are that ugly, but no, some are not that mean. Some are.
Just him and the prince.
I suppose so. I mean, mean ones, manipulative ones are in all of the clans.
You can find some very ugly roses in my family, despite their looks.
What's going to happen?
We're going to teach you. We're going to introduce you to the prince, and we're going to take care of you. Because you're ours now.
We're not gonna make you a servant or anything like that if that's what you're worried about. We're gonna teach you how to be like us, but you'll be your own person.
Give me, whichever one of you wishes to make the roll, with an extra dot from the other, give me a charisma persuasion.
I'll let Matt do it.
Four.
She kind of sits there for a moment. And you can see a little bit of red start to kind of well up a little. Why didn't he just kill me too?
He was trying to lure us in with holding you captive. Nick and I, we're of the same family. Our family is blessed with sight. You could say we're oracles, but we're also blessed, cursed, whatever you want to call it, with madness. And he felt that we were a key to saving him from his own madness. So he wanted to use you to bring us in.
She sits and processes what you're saying for a moment. And Bella, as you're standing next to her, she collapses into you.
I'll wrap my arms around her and just hug her.
As she begins crying, we will pan out from this scene and bring a close to our session. Thank you, everybody, for coming along for this journey so far, and we will see you all in the next chapter.